Really sorry about that, guys. Again, creating another link. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just quickly copy over the thumbnail. Actually, we can copy that in. Paste, save. Hi guys, really sorry about that. Massive issues here. Great to have you here. Really sorry about I haven't used it from the phone before, so I wasn't quite sure how it's going to work. The problem is trying to test on YouTube. The moment I go live, it kind of broadcasts it to you all. So unfortunately, well, I'm here now. I'm here, which is good. So yeah, hope you're all well. Nice to see a couple of people joining on. 3 now, lovely stuff. Just been told by the missus that it's not working. So yeah, we're back now, we're working, it's good. From Canada, lovely. Create, save and invest. Nice to see you here. Hope you're well. Merry Christmas to you too. I'm interested to see how many people I get on here today. I've done a couple before and I had about 11 or 12. So hopefully we can thrash those numbers today. And yeah, hopefully have a few people get on this screen. Right, so I can see, I'm just going to join actually from my laptop, the same stream, so that I can see the questions come in, because obviously I've got it on there. I've gone for the phone today rather than the camera. Annoyingly, I say annoyingly, I purchased this camera for my YouTube. It's Panasonic GH5, a £1,700 camera. It doesn't do live stream. You can use it as a webcam on your computer, but to put it on YouTube, it doesn't work. So you have to do a live stream from your computer and then just literally stream it onto YouTube through screen share. And it's so laggy and the quality is terrible, which is really annoying. So one day I may have to upgrade that camera. But for now, we're just going to use the phone. I'm aware the audio might not be brilliant, so apologise for that. I didn't want to sit there with headphones on. So we're just going to see how it goes. But yeah, welcome. If you have any questions, do let me know in the chat box. I can see there's already one in there. So yeah, create, save and invest. Hello from Canada. Hello from the UK here. I'm just outside London. So it's always fascinating to see where people are from on the channel. So and watching the channel. So yeah, let me know, where are you from? Where are you watching my video from? VMNZ, apologies for the last stream. I saw your question on that stream. Thank you for rejoining. It would have been very easy for you just to go. But I can see you put a question there. Any advice for students applying grad schemes with CIMA study support? It's funny you say that, actually. It was always a minefield for me. I got lucky. I remember as a student going through university, I really struggled. I did business and finance, but I really struggled to get a finance role because there were people there with accountancy and finance degrees, which obviously trumped business and finance. I went through my whole placement, didn't get a finance placement. I just could not get one. I didn't really try that much in graduate role because I had a placement at Hewlett Packard, the IT company, and I went back because, well, you know what it's like. Last year at university is quite easy just to go back to the company you're at. So I did that, managed to get some finance experience in there, and then leveraged that. I literally applied for one role. What advice would I give? It's really going to lean in well if you've got some experience on a placement. And I think the easiest way to get some experience on a placement is, or get a graduate role, is if you've got placement experience. because there will always be someone that does, and instantly it puts you at a backdrop. So if you've got a university degree that gives you the option to do a placement scheme, then I would say go for it. That was going to put you in a very, very good position. And a lot of people I see that actually get into graduate positions have done accountancy and finance degrees, and then they have gone on to a placement and done finance of some, whether that's an auditor, whether that is at a company. It really does trump when it comes to accountancy scheme. What I would say though, it's not the end of the world. What you need to do is make sure I'm confident if you apply for enough apply for enough grad schemes and put in enough job applications, you will find an opportunity for you in some way, shape or form. I'm a strong believer in that. Great 7 Invest. Check out the ATM Mini for streaming. Okay, let me give that a look. Yes, yeah. I think I'll have to have a bit more success in this channel before I start putting that level of money in, but obviously I can maybe the next thing, I think before then I need to invest a bit into the audio quality on this channel first, and then yeah, certainly that could be a help for me going forward. 400 quid just for the Mini Pro though. Yeah, it's going to be a long-term investment, should I say, for this channel at the moment. The Mega Freshie. Hey CRAIGO, would you happen to share these for your weekly schedule for CIMA revision, or maybe how you would tackle it now for the maximum output? Thank you for the love the viz, mate. Keep up the good work. First of all, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. I'm a member now, so I don't study at all. But when I was studying, it's hard to put. Without fail, I would do 1 to 2 hours a day. That's minimum as well. So you're probably looking at around 2 to 3 hours a day of studying, I would say. I would have got home at kind of 5:30, I'd have dinner, it'd be 6, and I'd maybe go through to 9 o'clock. So yeah, 2 to 3 hours. I never worked beyond 9, very rarely I worked beyond 9, unless it was like really last minute, something that I didn't kind of get and I needed to put the effort in. Then, especially in the last stages, it's really doing what you need to do to get that knowledge. How would I tackle it? I think you just need to have short-term goals for each session that you do. Make sure you've got a goal for that session so that you can achieve in that session. And then, yeah, I think as long as you do that and you consistently deliver on the smaller goals, you'll build the knowledge and the foundations and the building blocks to reach that goal. The hardest thing in the world is looking at an exam thinking I've got this to pass, and then looking at it and just kind of like going, like freewheeling it, just no structure, just going for it, just looking. It's quite difficult. If you can actually split it down into smaller parts, look at chapter by chapter, part by part within that chapter, it will make it far more easier for you to understand what bits you're doing well on and what bits you're not doing so well on. And then from there, what you can do is you can build a plan. This is what I need to focus on in the next 2 weeks. Because remember as well, you don't focus on your strengths, focus on your weaknesses. The more you're going to make your marks up through improving your weaknesses. A football team is only as bad as only as good as their worst player, because it's a team sport. Well, you can apply that principle to your study, and you're only as good as your worst chapter. And if you might only be 1 mark off, but if you'd improve that worst chapter over focusing on a strong chapter, you may make up that mark. So that's my advice for you, the Mega Freshie. Zane, how's the investing going? Hello, mate. How you doing? Good. I'll be honest. Just gone for the simple approach now. Whack it all into an ETF fund and just let it do its thing. I'll be honest. All my individual stocks and shares are performing. They're not doing badly, but they're not performing as well as the S&P 500 ETF. So the majority of my investing is all now going into the S&P 500 ETF. Ticker symbol BUSA. I did a video on that on my channel, so if you want to check it out, go and take a look. But I explained why I love that ETF. who wouldn't love it with the likes of Facebook, Google, well, Alphabet, shall I say? I say Facebook, it's Metaverse now, isn't it? Metaverse, Alphabet, Apple, Berkshire Hathaway, Microsoft, all those big companies on there. Surely it can only go one way. I'm not going to try and pronounce your name, Michele, but I think that's right, Michele. Apologies if it's not wrong. F1 tips. I actually preferred the F1 tip to every exam on the syllabus except E2. And simple, know your accountancy standards, know the accountancy standards off the back of your thumb. Write out a sheet. I produced a sheet when I did it of all the formulas on it. Probably got it, and I'm aiming at the moment to kind of create revision notes for you guys that you can purchase from me, which I used as a basis for me to study my exams. So keep a lookout for that. That is in the pipeline, and actually F1 will be the first exam I do. So that is certainly the short-term goal for the new year. So yeah, it's that is F1 tips. Just know the technical knowledge, know the accountancy standards, know the conceptual framework, know ethics, and whatever it is, just know the syllabus and you'll get through F1, trust me. And make sure you're good at the calculations as well. Sorry if I can't pronounce his name right. Kawalan, good to meet you. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Appreciate your support. Do you seem to be replaced by finance leadership into the future? No, I don't think they will be replaced. The finance leadership program is obviously available now. I don't think it will replace, but it's an option. Depends how you work. I wouldn't have replaced, for me, exams with leadership, the finance leadership program, but there'll be many people that will. So I think it's a great option for people who aren't necessarily exam driven and would see themselves confident in exams. And I think that's completely fair. Some exams are memory tests, but what I liked about exams was just rocking up on a day and getting it done within an hour, rather than like the financial leadership program would be lingering over your head. You're doing constant assessments, and it would take you like, let's be honest, like when you revise for your exams, you don't have to be 100% on the ball all the time. But I feel like if you're in this, I don't have limited experience with the financial leadership program, but if you are doing a financial leadership program, there is a chance that you might have to do a few more assessments over a period of time. And yeah, I don't know. I just like the exams, to be honest. I'm not the cleverest, don't get me wrong, but I like the challenge of them. And yeah, I've never failed exams, but I've had to always work really hard in order to do well at exams. But yeah, that just goes to show they can be difficult. Create, save, invest. What's an ETF? An ETF stands for an exchange traded fund. So what you will get is you'll get like a broker like Vanguard, for example, create a fund that basically mirrors a stock exchange. So the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF will mirror the performance of the S&P 500 stock exchange, and as the value of that stock exchange moves, the exchange traded fund moves with the stock exchange. So if the stock exchange increases in value, if companies like Apple, Microsoft increase in value, then the exchange will follow that. The exchange traded fund will follow that movement and also increase in value. And what essentially it does, it captures a larger proportion of the market, takes away all the administrative burden of creating your own investment portfolio. So you can literally, what I do every month, put a set amount of money into this fund. It covers the 511 now biggest companies in the US, the 500 on the S&P 500 stock market, 511. It's because of companies such as Alphabet that have like 3 classes, 2 classes, 3 classes, can't remember now, 3 classes I think it is. It mirrors that, and then obviously over time, over economical growth occurs and your money will increase. And there's massive like studies that have gone into the depth of the of investing into individual stocks over investing in like index funds or exchange traded funds. And it goes to show that most people don't beat the market, so you're better off just doing it. It's the boring style of investing, but you only get one chance at investing, and because of time and like my age, 28 years old, I want to utilize and maximize time. So I've only got one chance at this moment in time. So I'm just doing what I know is safe, and kind of what I don't want to do is pump all my money into stocks and then not do real well and then left with nothings, or not left with nothing, but left with a small portfolio. Whereas I'm just kind of sticking to the tried and tested method. Crusader, welcome. You are here. You said you would be here, so lovely to see you. How much would I put in it monthly by Shush? I think that's up for anyone. I'm not going to reveal what I put in monthly, and it's up to you to realise. But the recommended guidance for kind of investing is that you put it, you take the money out and you invest it before you do your money for expenditure. So always pay yourself first is the rule that a lot of people stand by. So the moment you get paid, pay a set amount in. Investing amount wise, it could be something like, I think sensible figures, about 10-20% if you want to invest. So whatever you take home, put 10% of that away. You can definitely do without that. And a lot of people say like live below your means so that you can afford to put that 10% in. Because look, you only need to go. When me and my mates used to go out, you could spend that, you could rack that up in 2 or 3 nights out, 200 quid. Just be a bit more careful with your money when you go on and do things. I'm not saying don't go out and don't go and enjoy yourself, don't go and see your mates, don't go see your friends and family, by all means, no. That's absolutely fine, but just make sure you do prioritise your financial goals as well, and you'll be just fine. I think you will. Just find an amount, even if you put £50 a month in, more than worthwhile. There's a if you type in compound interest calculator on Google, you can simulate if you put in £50 a month and it compounded at a rate of like 6-7%, 4% if you want to be cautious on how much you think the market's going to grow. In reality, over the last 20-30 years, the market's grown by about 13%. So you're being conservative in your prediction of your future growth as well. And then see how much your money compounds even at £50 a month. You'll be extremely surprised to see in 30-40 years time how much money you'll have. And that's certainly my goal. Improve my balance sheet. And it's the same goal I believe a lot of you should have as well. Got another study question by the Mega Freshie. How did you balance gym and studying? It feels like escape from work studying, but then I just lack time to study. I'll give you the honest answer. It's easy to let it slip, the gym. Unfortunately, some days you can't. Look, it's a difficult one. Like, you obviously want to, and I probably went at peak times only once or twice a week. I think the key is schedule once a week and schedule it in and make sure you go that once. And then if you can go again another time, then good. Utilize your time in the morning. Don't just waste. Look, we're all human here. We can't keep going at 110%. If you went to the gym before work, you went to work, you came home, started studying in your evening, you're going to be absolutely knackered if you did that every day of the week. So you need to be realistic with yourself. Really, I think realistically, like when I didn't have exams or at the beginning of exams, I used to do exam every 6-7 weeks. The first 3 or 4 weeks of that was quite light, so I could get away with going to the gym a few more times. But when you start getting into that real last minute study phase, when you need to pass your exam, you may have like all the content that you need to go through. You need to do mock exam, you need to do revision. You might not even find the time to go once a week. But that's where you kind of need to be a bit clever. Maybe just get up a bit early and just go one morning before work. It is difficult. Look, I'm not going to lie to you here and say that I went loads, because I really had swings and roundabouts in motivation to go to the gym, because it's hard. I played football as well at the time, and I found that so difficult. Trying to train twice a week and play a match on a Saturday afternoon, which would take up all afternoon. I'd have to be there from 1 I'd be leaving at 5:30. Sometimes the games were like an hour away. And I dislocated my shoulder, and actually it was a blessing in disguise because I was struggling. I was struggling. My mum could tell it was grinding me down. It was like I was exhausted. It was just like constantly going through work, 9 to 5, quite a demanding job. Then was kind of going to training twice a week, revising every day. Like, you can't keep doing it. So definitely, I feel like, to answer your question, try and make an extra hour a day by maybe getting up early, maybe doing a bit of revision before work, and then you can then go to work and go to gym in the evening, or go to the gym before work. But definitely make sure you have some time at the weekend to do something on, like, in the morning. But you're right, unfortunately, we don't all have unlimited hours in a day, and any time that you spend at the gym is going to stop you studying. There's no question about it. But you just need to try and be smart with your time. It's difficult. Look, you're working full time, probably 40 hours a week. It's a tough one. As you've studied for CIMA, did you find that the content you learned could be applied straight away? Some can, some can't. So things like variance analysis, yes, you can. Accountancy standards, depends. If you work for a small company who you're responsible for quite a large scope of reporting their numbers, then yes, you probably can. For myself, working for a bigger company, all of the what are those comments about? Let me turn the comments down. All of the I can't get rid of them now. Right. What's the question? Did you? That was it. And then, like, for me, I was working in a business where I had such a the business was so big. I've got such a detailed scope with my role with, like, accounting standards and stuff, that we barely used any of them. We might have used like 3. You prepare the books on the accruals basis. You debit your expense, you credit your balance sheet, and that's really all we did. We had maybe a journal that would credit our gross rev, debit our tax liability, and debit our discount allowances line on the P&L. But apart from that, I really didn't get to use it much. So it all depends on it all depends on what role you have. Honestly, I couldn't answer that. The Mega Freshie, can I be your mentor? Can do. Follow me on Instagram, drop me a message. I'll see what I can do. Hey there, Shahid. Is this the guy that keeps disliking all my videos? Without fail, every video I have, someone dislikes it, and I think it's the same bloke. then you... Nice one, Hyder. Appreciate it. But please stop the spam. Although, I've seen the yellow lights go down the Mississippi. I've seen the Bridge of the World, and they're for real. They've had a light with the wrist. I've seen the yellow lights go down the Mississippi. Oh, they're all the same. I've seen the morning in the mountains of Alaska. I've seen the sunset in the east and the west. I've sang the glory that was Rome and past the... Sounds like you're well travelled. Nice one, mate. Right, where are we? Can one become employed in finance, also known as a finance administrator, using pathway? I think you've asked me this question on a previous video, and the answer is yes. I was a finance analyst and I wasn't even employed, wasn't even qualified. I don't know what it's like anywhere else, but here in the UK, you don't need to be qualified to be able to be working in a management accountant position or finance analyst. So yeah, I don't know what it's like in your market. I know markets are different. Some are really strict when it comes to them, but certainly in the UK, it feels like it's wrong. Well, I say it's wrong. I wouldn't let some businesses in the UK would turn a blind eye to it. Some wouldn't. Some take it quite importantly. But I don't know what your market's like. But I would recommend doing what you can. But certainly, in response to your question, being part qualified, can you get a finance analyst without a degree? Absolutely. CIMA, part qualified qualification, will trump any university degree. Facts. So yeah, I don't think you'll have any trouble. I'm going to attempt to pronounce your name, Tabang. I don't think you'll have any trouble. If I've pronounced that wrong, apologies. Mega Freshy, Christ, you've got a lot of questions today, haven't you? Just kidding. Any tips to get on the housing ladder? What's your dream car? Save amount a month. As I just said with investing, before you spend any of your money, whack it into a savings account. Open a lifetime ISA. You'll get, assuming you're in the UK, open a lifetime ISA, deposit 4k a year, you'll get 25% each year. So let's say 3 or 4 years, you'll have an extra 3 or 4 grand. And just save your money, get a deposit, and if you can, get a missus, because then it cuts costs in half. Facts, like, or you just go for a house that's not so expensive. And then you've got free stamp duty. Do not move house unless you want and know it's the right thing for you, because you only get free stamp duty once. So what you don't want to do is buy a flat that you're going to move out of in 2 years, because that stamp duty is going to be incredibly expensive. You would probably be better off renting and then buying in 2 years. But of course, that's up to you. What's your dream car? My dream car, I'll be honest, I'm not that bothered. I'm not that bothered about cars. I drive a Mercedes CLA. I like to drive a nice car. I love it. That was my present for completing my chartered exams. My dream car, honestly, I'm not a massive, I don't really enjoy cars enough to, I want a dream car. But I think my favourite car is the McLaren F1. Old school. My dad used to work at McLaren. So yeah, I was growing up around when they had their sponsorship with Mercedes, with McLaren and Mercedes cars. So yeah, I think my dream car, if I could have one, would be, although very old now, I loved it, the McLaren F1. Cool, hopefully I've answered those 2 questions. Hi Jasmine, good to see you on the call. How old were you when you became CIMA fully qualified? I'm 28 now. I passed, exam qualified November 2019, which was 2 years ago. Wow, that's gone quick. And I was qualified about 18 months ago. It was just before COVID, February 2020. So that is 22 months ago. No, maths going wrong here. 20 months ago. So yeah, I've been fully qualified for like 20 months, and I've been exam qualified for 24 months. But yeah, I didn't really have strict deadlines with my after I finished my exam. The hard bit's the exam, to be perfectly honest with you. I did my interview in London. I went to the Helicon in London, lovely building. I've been there again since to do my interview. I was interviewed by them as part of their their global marketing campaign about, when was that, 3 or 4 months ago in the summer, which I'm still waiting for that footage to be released. I can't wait to share it on this channel once that is available, but I still haven't seen it. But yeah, hopefully I can share that to you all fairly soon. Haven't heard from anyone about it since. But yeah, in answer to your question, I've been exam qualified for 2 years. Just skipping ahead to your comment in response before I answer the others. Trust me, there's never a wrong time to start. You will never be the oldest person to do it. You'll never be the youngest. 28 is still a fantastic age, so good luck. Looking forward to seeing how you get on with your exams. But I can assure you, a couple of years now sounds like a long time, but I can assure you that it will be well worth it, because I sit here now, right, talking to all you guys, and I'm just like, I'm so glad I did it. I'm so relieved I've done it. If I don't have to, I never have to go and sit an exam again. And do you realise how good that feels to say that? It's not my nature just to sit still, I'm afraid. If I was happy just to sit still and go and enjoy my life, I wouldn't be here now. But for me, this is all an experience. This is all. One of the main reasons I set this channel was because I wanted to be a better communicator. A lot of people at work ask, I want to get some experience on learning to present, learning to communicate. How do I do it? And the question you always get is you need to find those opportunities for yourself, because directors aren't going to be around just for you to talk to and present. All right, you might get the odd one or two that will allow you to do that and will be happy for you to present something. But usually the only time that you throw yourself into that opportunity is when it really matters, and it often means you don't get a lot of practice. So the reason I'm doing these types of things is so that I can be confident speaking to other people. I've been on conference calls now with hundreds of people. When I did a CIMA conference a few months ago, there was hundreds of people watching that conference. I was talking about my experience studying CIMA, and it was just like trying to speak to a camera is mad hard at first. So actually, this is what I've done. I've always thought, if I can talk to a camera, I can talk to human beings. And that may sound silly because the camera doesn't move and there's no but I'm speaking to people from other areas of the world now. And it's just a great experience for me to kind of be confident with communicating, the style of communication, and particularly YouTube channel is about educating. So how do you tell a story? And that's what I'm trying to kind of get good at, because if I can tell a story on YouTube when it comes to telling a story in real life, hopefully I'll be able to do that as well. Right, what have we got here? We've got some comments. So I've missed a couple out. Hader, what is the difference between ACCA and CIMA? Which qualification pays more and is more valuable? So I guess CIMA is predominantly a management accountancy qualification. ACCA gives you the option slightly, so there's different modules. So depending on what career you want, whether you want to be more practice accountant or whether you want to be more of a CIMA accountant, then there's different modules. So you just in ACCA, there's an audit module, for example, that you can choose. So the last steps, I think you get you have to do 3 or 4 exams. I don't really know a lot about ACCA because I'm never that interested in studying it. I always knew that I wanted to work in industry, but it just gives you a bit more options, a bit more of an option when it comes to working in practices and accountancy firms and that, because you've studied some relevant modules. Likewise, you can tailor it to a management accountancy module by studying the more of business performance. I think business performance modules, I don't know, never really studied it. But yeah, specifically CIMA is purely for management accountants to go and work in a business, in a internal finance function, and help them to run that business partner with your sales teams with different areas of the business, depending on what it is, whether it's purchasing, whether it's purchasing and procurement, whether it's sales, whether it's marketing, whether it's supply chain. It will gear you up and give you the skills you need to partner with those functions to create or allow the business to hopefully progress. So then we go to VMN. What was your experience like when you first entered the corporate world? Were you nervous? How did you handle it? Yeah, I was incredibly nervous. I'll be honest, I didn't do very well in the first year. I made a few mistakes. I didn't go down very well. Part of me hated it. But then I focused on it. I tried my best to turn it around. I tried my best to be a better employee and to kind of be better skilled, and I have. And now I'll be honest, I'm doing really well at the business I'm working for. Doing quite well, I think. But yeah, it's intimidating at first. You get some scary individuals as well. I remember the company I worked for before this one day this woman was lovely, the next day, whoa, ouch. She was pretty scary to say the least at times. But yeah, you learn to manage yourself in the environment and you quickly become accustomed to it, so I won't worry about that at all. But yeah, I was nervous, and I think that's even going into new jobs now, you get nervous. Meeting new stakeholders, you get nervous, because the problem is you always want to make a good impression, so you always feel like you're trying to prove yourself. there will never be a time you'll just, although I've been in the business 5 years now, my 5-year anniversary a couple of weeks ago, I still feel comfortable going in on a day-to-day basis, but I will still have experiences where I'm required to speak to other individuals that I haven't met before, and then I just like, you get meeting individuals that you haven't met before, and you feel like you're proving yourself, and you're having to prove yourself, and you're trying to do your best. But yeah, I think it's natural to always feel a bit. It's natural to feel nervous at work, for sure. And I hear about it a couple of times before, where leaders like, well, why me? Why am I here? Imposter syndrome is a real thing, I feel, in the real world. So yeah, nerves are a good thing. Nerves mean you care. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. Hi Arish, I think that's how you pronounce it. What are your thoughts on decentralized finance? Because CIMA qualifications have a future of DeFi and blockchain ecosystem overall. That's a question and a half. Finance, because CIMA qualifications have a future of DeFi. At the moment, no, because CIMA you don't study DeFi and blockchain ecosystems. Would I say that CIMA will eventually include that in their syllabus? Well, probably. But at the moment, CIMA isn't relevant for that. Like, at the moment, it's good enough to know what they are. I'm not going to say I'm an expert at all these new technological advancements, blockchain, finance systems, and cryptocurrencies, all that stuff. But yeah, certainly at the moment you won't. Sorry. Mum just text. Do I think it will help at the moment? No, not really. Look, your CIMA qualification, as long as you continue to pay your subscription fee, will last for your lifetime. So I wouldn't have any worry about that. But yeah, certainly I do recommend keeping up to date and just having an awareness of what they are. I'm not saying you need to be a geek with it and know exactly what all these new decentralized financial systems are, but definitely just be aware they're there and the impact it could be having. Crusader, just thought doing CIMA up and just going to more into management, life management channel before CIMA prepared for it. Yeah, management accounting. What I would say though, don't worry about preparing for anything before CIMA. CIMA is you're expected to go in with no knowledge. You're expected to be starting from the beginning. You're expected to have no experience from the beginning. It's there to accommodate you from that stage. Just take your time through your exams. Don't rush them. Make sure you know the knowledge before you step foot into the exam room. You'll be completely fine. What uni did I go to? Bournemouth. As I say, I weren't that clever. I went to Bournemouth University. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good fun. Would I go back? Absolutely. Is management accounting stressful in your perspective? No, no, it's not. Accounting standards and doing period close can be, and year end close can be stressful, but the actual management accounting side is actually quite enjoyable. Yeah, it's good fun. Yeah. Right, I'm interested. I'm going to put it back on you. I want to know. I'm going to do a poll. What stage of the qualification are you at? Oh. Operational, management, strategic. And I've just realised I missed certificate out. Right, there's a poll there. Fire away. I'm interested to know the results. That's it. asked CIMA to offer back to masters just like AC. There was a collaboration with Oxford British University. I didn't know that was a thing with ACCA. Fair enough. What I would say though is you get your exemptions from doing it, so they only give you exemptions so far. So as long as you choose a university which will give you the highest level of exemptions, which is up to, I think, the management case study through the gateway course, or if you just get the exemptions up to management case study anyway, then yeah, I don't really see the benefit of that. Harry Sid, thanks for the earlier answer. Does CIMA subscriptions highest possible job placements internationally? Yeah, CIMA is global. It's recognised globally. So biggest markets for CIMA, I believe, are UK, South Africa, India. I think it's quite big in America and Canada, I think. Not 100% sure on that one. But yeah, certainly gives you opportunity. It's recognised globally. So what you have to remember is when you get your charter status, you get a CGMA qualification, acronym, and that stands for Chartered Global Management Accountant. So yeah, it is recognised globally. Zakaria, I got run out exemption from uni and I don't know whether I should push through my own and just take my time. If you've got 8, that means you've got 8 left. Look, sit at a nice pace. You don't have to do either. You take one as it comes, and if you find like you take too long, then speed up. If you don't feel like you gave yourself enough time, then slow down. Just see how it goes. You don't need to make that decision now. You can just take it as it comes. So yeah, I think you'll be fine just to take one at a time, and it takes you as long as it takes you. What are the poll results so far? Oh. 50% operational, 17% management, 33% strategic. All of you on here as well, I don't know if you've checked out my Astranti link, as there's 33% of you on certificate level. They actually have all the materials free for certificate level, so go check it out. If you're at operational management strategic level, you get 1 free mock exam, so it's worthwhile having as well. I believe you only need about 3 or 4 mock exams before you sit your exam. So yeah, if you've got 1 free one there already, it might save you a bit of money. So go and check it out, and then yeah, use my link there, help support the channel. I'm in dire need of a decent microphone, so if you do purchase anything, then visibility and transparency wise, I do get a bit of cash, which I can then reinvest back to the channel to improve the quality of things like live streams, the sound quality, the lighting. Although I think the lighting is pretty good, but it's the mic I need to work on at the moment. But, yeah, there we are. Right, I'm going to end the poll. Operational wins. Right. If I get exemptions from all of certificate level but don't recall much knowledge, will I still be able to understand the level and above? Yeah, you will. It's really not difficult to. I actually think they just repeat the certificate level pretty much in the operational level. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. I mean, I know it's assumed knowledge, but they do kind of lay it all out to you again before adding the extra element on. So things like, for example, governance and ethics is repeated so much throughout the syllabus, like I wouldn't even worry. Can you make a video on after completing each level, what kind of job we can expect in the UK? For example, after completing certificate level, what? One thing I would say, there is not a clear link between getting the CIMA level and then getting a job. In fact, the difference between a job you'll be doing as a beginner and the end could be very similar. It's difficult to like, you may have seen my salary video where it gave you the different elements of the different roles that you can have in a finance function. So you might have finance analyst, systems analyst, business partner, controller, director, group CFO, all those types of levels. But actually at the bottom levels, the only distinguishing factor that I would probably say, this is an experience of the company I work for, is actually the levels from the role that when you start CIMA to you end CIMA are very similar. The role barely changes. Maybe the customer's a bit bigger, or it's got a few extra customers in it, which really makes it's difficult to create. It's not like practice where they just have levels and you progress through the level as you progress through your qualification. You could be a massive business and be a finance analyst for a big customer, or you could be a finance analyst at a small business for all their customers. And it's really difficult to distinguish the difference in the roles and what the salary expectations of those are. You can see I released the video on salary expectations, and that will give you a good idea for that. But roles aren't linked to your completion necessarily. I mean, there is an element, but I couldn't comfortably go in there and say, at the end of the operational level, you will have a finance analyst position that looks after X, and at the end of management, it's impossible to do that. It's just such a large scope and so many varying factors. It's pretty difficult. So what I would suggest is go and take a look at the video I released about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Have a look to see what salaries you can get. Also, I released a video a few months ago now on trainee salaries, so you can take a look at that one, and that will give you a good indicator of which level of the qualification you asked, what kind of level of money you can expect to get. As a management accountant, how often do you have to do preparations? What advice do you have when presenting financial data? Look, presentations, as we know it, standing up in front of a group of people speaking, are very rare. What I would expect from a presentation nowadays is to take your laptop into a meeting room and talk through, sit down, present it on a screen, and then just talk about it. It's not the same level of presentation we do, and that's certainly the level of, if I was to say that was what a presentation was, I'd probably do it, I don't know, to senior director, quarterly, once a quarter, like not very often. But how often do I do presentations as a team? And by that now, presentations as a team is sharing a screen and talking about it, probably daily. But doing a Dragon's Den style pitch or presentation isn't very frequent, for me anyway. There could be some people that have a different experience with presentations, but certainly not for me. Any more questions? What are people up to today? Let me know. Where are you based today? I'd love to hear where you're based from. Or based from where you are. Northwest London, nice. What's the biggest lesson you've learned from studying CIMA? My biggest lesson? Whew. My biggest lesson is you don't get anything without hard work. That's with anything in life. If you're not prepared to work hard, you won't get anything. Quite an easy one, I think. You have to work hard to get your CIMA, you have to work hard Fairly easy, that one. Just looking at 75 views this hour. So I would expect that we've had about 60 different people on this stream, which is quite impressive. So also, I just want to use this opportunity as well to say thank you for all your support watching this video, all my videos, watching this live stream, because actually I am only 20 hours away before filming this. I reckon it won't be long before I hit it, of being on the YouTube partner program. And what that means is that when people watch my videos, I will get some ad revenue. I don't think it's going to be a lot, but it will give me a bit more money to invest into this channel to improve the things such as sound and bits and pieces. So yeah, I'd just like to say thank you for everyone who's watched the channel and enabled me to get there, because it's a hard feat to achieve. You have to achieve 4,000 watch time hours to get that status and 1,000 subscribers. So the 1,000 subscribers I hit quite a while ago now, nearly at 2,000, only 37 subs and 2,000. But the tough bit has been the watch time. So it's been kind of quite difficult to. It's been hard work. I'll be honest. It's exhausting editing videos at the weekend. And you see all your mates go out and then or doing things they enjoy, and then you can't try and churn out 1 or 2 videos every week. It's difficult, but just like to say thank you. Thank you for the support that you have all given me. JC7, yeah, near 2K. Let's go. Does the CIMA need to speak English at an advanced level? Yes. So yeah, you need to be able to speak English. You will need to do your case study in English. And I can imagine for an international student trying to do a case study, which is difficult enough with it, in a language that isn't a native language, it must be extremely tough. But yeah, your level of English needs to be good, because the problem with the case study is you need to know the structure and the style of essay answer that they're expecting, and you need to be confident that you can write in what they're wanting. And if you can't produce an answer in it with the structure that they're wanting, it's really difficult to pass the case study exams. So what I advise is, if you don't feel like your English is a good enough level, then do what you can to improve it before you do sit your case studies, and it will make it must be so stressful sitting CIMA in a language that isn't your native language. So I recommend becoming as good at the English language as possible before you start sitting it. Oh no, the questions come up. What's my favourite football club? Man United. Manchester United. I grew up in the era of David Beckham, and as a result, I turned into a Man United fan. My 2 favourite players when I was a kid was, in my earlier years, was David Beckham and Michael Owen. And then when I grew up a bit more, when I was about 8 years old, I was a massive Wayne Rooney fan. So I'm a Man United fan. I've been a couple of times. I love watching them play. Been about a few years, but never mind. JC7, who do you support? That'd be interesting to hear. Right, we're coming up to 55 minutes since I started this stream, so 5 more minutes. So any more questions? I am running a bit behind time. I apologise for that. It was my lack of ability with you. What's people been doing this weekend? What have people been doing this weekend? What have people been doing this weekend? I think I need to start working on these live streams a bit more. I've only had 7, 8 people on there now, and the max I had was, I think it was 12. And that hasn't increased from when I did it before, and I only had like 1,000 subscribers, but never mind. Never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind. I'm writing a bug question. Favourite artist? I'm not a massive music fan, I'll be honest. Yeah, I don't listen to a lot of music, partly because I'm deaf. If I hear that music on, I can't hear anything else. What is the pair documentation process like, and what can you include when submitting? You can include anything, any experience you have, you can include. Even if you worked in marketing, yet you were able to demonstrate IT skills, you can include that. But you do have to make sure you have some financial experience in there. And often depends on whether you want to do your existing or your updated requirements. I believe there's a new process coming in as well, which will maybe replacing those. But the updated requirements are far more stringent. I did the existing requirements because even CIMA say themselves, they're not as stringent and they're easy, more people pass. So I would recommend doing that. All you need to do is about a 10-page write-up of all your experience, and then they look at it. You can do your interview over Skype or face-to-face. I went face-to-face, and then you can get it signed off. And it was a bit daunting, I'll be honest. The examiner that I had wasn't the friendliest. He was more worried about my mixing up of first and third person in my write-up than actually about my experience I had. So he just goes to sum up what they're like. What is the highest CIMA versus MBA? No idea. Unfortunately, in the UK, we don't do MBAs. Well, I say we don't do them. When people do them, it's just not a big deal. Master's degrees aren't a big deal compared to CIMA. If you want to be an accountant, just do CIMA in the UK. So I'm not even going to answer that because I don't know. I don't want to come up with a bag of rubbish that's going to ill-advise someone. So I'm just acting with integrity here. I'm sorry, but I can't answer that one. So then I don't know, salary or difficulty in study, no idea. So sorry, I can't help you with that one. So moving to the UK, not sure how to further my career. Look, you just need to go on job websites, sign up to job agencies. One big one is Hayes Financial Recruiter, Indeed. Look on LinkedIn. Just go looking for jobs. Looking for jobs at accounting firms. Apply with a CV, with a letter, and I'm sure you will get something. Someone that will want to interview you with the experience you have. You will have to put in a lot of work into job applications. I doubt you're just going to get a job from one application, but that's so anything. Or look in directories for accountants, send letters. I'm an accountant that moved from Bangladesh, would like to find a job in an accountancy firm. Would you have any vacant positions? Maybe contact them directly, that can work. But yeah, certainly what I would recommend is just getting on LinkedIn, applying for many jobs as you can, get on financial agencies, find out about more jobs and just seeing what you can get. Right, we've hit 60 minutes. So unless there's anybody objecting it, I think I'm going to call that a day. If you've got any last final questions, write me in the chat. And if not, we will call it a day there. These are actually quite exhausting to do. So looking at a screen and talking for an hour to yourself in a room on your own is very exhausting. If you do have any other questions, on my profile, on my channel, I've got an Instagram link. You can follow me over at Instagram, ask me any questions. I'm more than happy to answer them. My Instagram is at craigofinance. Rohit, hello. Unfortunately, you've just joined at the end. Unless you have a burning question that you'd like me to answer. I mean, I can do another half an hour if people want me to, but I do need the loo, so completely up to you whether you're happy to sit around. It's getting dark in here now. Camera can't see a thing. I'm good, mate. How are you doing? What's everyone been up to this weekend? Right, I just need to send a message back. I'll stay around while people, in case there's any more questions, people join in. As if, no problem. I will try and do once a month. I will try and do once a month, although it's difficult at times to find a time to do it because I don't get much time at the weekend to do what I like to do, so just do this every month. And I don't think people need it every month as well. Maybe some do, maybe some don't. But as I say, I'm always available elsewhere. I've got my Patreon as well if you want to sign up. I've got 4 VIP slots left. It's only 27 quid a month. You get a free live call so you can give your answers. I position myself in the middle of a tuition company and revision material. I would call myself a mentor or a coach. You could use your experience. You'll get a lot more face-to-face time than you would with a tutor, with a class, online class of like 100, 200 people. And yeah, I think with the one person I've got at the moment, it's gone down very well. So you can find that link down below in the description as well for my Patreon. Or likewise, you can book a slot on my Calendly, completely up to you. But yeah, I have to kind of protect my time because I don't have unlimited amounts of it. Right, so I can see numbers start going down, so I'm going to call it a day there. One final time, thank you for joining. I appreciate your support, as always. I look forward to seeing you again on another live stream coming to you soon. See you later. Bye. Oh, it's filters. I missed out on that. Oh, bubbles. I just thought we moved. See ya. Bye bye. Merry Christmas to you. Oh man, I forgot that. Merry Christmas to you all. Have a great Christmas. There's going to be one more video coming Wednesday, and then I think I'm going to take a break over Christmas and New Year. It's my birthday on New Year's Day, so I think I'm going to take a break for a week and just enjoy myself. I think I deserve it after this year. But yeah, thank you all for joining. See you all again. Goodbye. Oh, I can't slip, man.